Hi, my dear friends. Hopefully, all of you fine and safe. I must be fine and safe, my dear friends. Now, I am going to present in front of you quick revision, export and import procedure. Before that, very important announcement from our Unacademy. CA Iconic Program, a flagship program for CA final aspirants. Under this, you have live mentoring platform LMP, one-to-one doubt solving sessions, evaluated test series, printed books from eminent educators of Unacademy as well as Yashas Academy, Discord community building platform, where you have like this one-to-one live mentoring in Iconic, which has been now launched, my dear friends, in Unacademy. Give your exam preparation an extra edge with our new live mentoring platform, evaluated test series. Give your exam preparation an extra edge with our latest addition in Iconic subscription. Iconic subscription group 1 for CA final by using my referral code, my dear friends. If you use RAFI LIVE to get at the rate of 10% flat discount from your existing subscription, followed by Iconic subscription group 2 CA final using my referral code RAFI LIVE to get at the rate of 10% flat discount from the existing subscription. You can also subscribe Iconic subscription CA final combo group 1 and group 2 by using the code RAFI LIVE to get 10% discount from the existing subscription price, my dear friends. With this, now I am presenting in front of you as a quick revision to cover export and import procedure under the customs. From practical point of view also is useful, not only in the examination point of view. If a person for the first time coming forward to export or import also can make use of this particular presentation. Undoubtedly highly useful for your examination point of view, where you have customs and FTP 25 marks. Under that, this export import procedure at for CA final paper number 8 indirect tax laws, highly useful. Presenting now, my dear friends, first and foremost, export procedure under the customs. Export procedure under the customs. If I want to export the goods, being an exporter, I should have to have the IE code, importer cum exporter code, or otherwise I should have to have GST number, goods and service tax identification number. Today the GST number will be replaced as our IE code. Otherwise, at least I should have to have my PAN number issued by the income tax department to consider as a IE code for my import or export under the DGFT, Direction of Foreign Trade. Dear friends, if I am a competent person to import or export the goods, I want to export the goods. What is the procedure under the customs? Just because if I manufacture the goods, not sufficient for export. There must be some export procedure. Generally, my dear friends, our all exports, we are measuring at FOB value, free on board. All our imports, we are measuring at CIF value. It is our concept of the foreign trade policy. Exports should be measured at FOB value. Our imports should be measured at CIF value, cost, insurance and freight. What do you mean by FOB? What do you mean by CIF? Free on board. Anything is free in the global market today? Absolutely not. Then why are you calling FOB? What do you mean by FOB, free on board? I will tell you, my dear friends. You take the vessel or you take the aircraft, cargo aircraft, or you take the vehicle, goods carriage vehicle. We call it as a boat. If the exporter wanted to export the goods against a purchase order of the importer, should incur expenditure towards purchase of raw material, converting to finished goods with the help of overheads, and pack that material, bring from his premises to the place of the ICD, inland container depot, which is export gateway, kept the goods just before export. And by taking the permission from the Department of Customs as well as from the in charge of the conveyance, if the goods has been loaded on conveyance, it may be a vehicle, it may be a boat, it may be a particular vessel or aircraft. If the goods are loaded into the conveyance, up to that point of loading the goods into the boat, namely on conveyance, who incurred the expenditure? Exporter incurred the expenditure till the point of loading the goods on board into the vessel, aircraft or vehicle. From the importer point of view, it is called as free on board, since all expenditure incurred by the exporter till the point of loading the goods into the exporter country port or airport, expenditure incurred by the exporter, from the importer point of view, it is free on board. Now, my dear friends, is it really free? Obviously not. Once the goods reaches the importer country port or importer country airport or land port of the importer country, importer has to pay cost to that goods. FOB will become cost to the importer. From exporter country to the importer country, transportation, insurance should be added to the cost, resulting that at the point of importer country, when the goods has been landed, it will be called as at CIF value. As a result, in our India, we adopted a concept called as all our exports will be measured at FOB value, all our imports will be measured at CIF value. What do you mean that? When I export the goods, if I am liable to pay export duty, I will pay duty on FOB value of my export. If I import the goods, I am liable to pay import duty, I will pay the import duty only on CIF value, cost, insurance and freight. Together is my value on which I am liable to pay import duty. Knowing these fundamentals, now look into the export procedure. I want to export the goods. I am a holder of IE code, importer cum exporter code. I got a license to import or export from the Department of the Customs, from the DGFT, Director General of Foreign Trade. I manufacture the goods to export against my particular importer who already given to me a purchase order. Against the purchase order, I want to export the goods, I manufacture the goods. I want to export the goods through sea because 90% is our import or export in general routing through sea, thereby where sea freight far lesser than air freight. There is a reason all importers and exporters prefer to import or export their goods through sea in a vessel or ship. I want to export the goods through sea in a vessel to a country outside India where my importer is located. If I want to export the goods through sea in a vessel or a ship, in which vessel I should export the goods, in which ship I should export my goods, I should know. I came to know that in the market, one vessel, one shipper company which is obtained prior permission from the Department of Customs, namely called as entry outward granted to the vessel. The first and foremost, first point if you refer on the slide, on particular screen, in the given case, my dear sir, the first point number 1, which says that entry inward or entry outward, it is entry outward granted to the vessel. That means the in charge of the vessel, namely the master of the vessel or the shipper company who own the vessel or ship, should submit a request letter to the Department of Customs to obtain prior permission to carry the goods from Indian port to outside India. That prior permission is known as entry outward granted by the Department of Customs to the vessel. Entry outward granted to the vessel only competent to carry the goods from Indian port to outside India. So as an exporter, I came to know that so and so vessel got entry outward from the Department of Customs to export the goods. Then this exporter who intend to export the goods prepared a shipping bill. If I want to export the goods through sea or by air, I supposed to prepare a shipping bill. If I want to export the goods through land route in a vehicle, bill of export. Now here I am exporting the goods through sea in a vessel, therefore it is sufficient to have shipping bill which I prepared based on my export invoice, packing list, certificate towards quality of my product, and also I am covering for my export ECGC, Export Credit Guarantee Corporation, like a insurance for non-realization of sale proceeds. For non-realization of sale proceeds, I have what? ECGC as an insurance premium to cover my loss of sales realization. With all documents, I too prepared the shipping bill submitted by the exporter in the Office of Customs to seek the prior permission for exporting of my goods into that vessel, to that vessel already entry outward granted by the Department of Customs. Department of Customs verified what type of goods you want to export. Is it general goods, is it prohibited goods, or is it restricted goods? General goods means what? Specs, wearing apparel, watch. These are general goods. Restricted goods means what? Allowed to export but with the prior permission is called restricted goods. Prohibited goods means not at all allowed to export. Like that, what type of goods the exporter want to export, the Department of Customs verify by verifying the shipping bill. He want to export wearing apparel, general goods allowed to export. No need of any restriction or no need of any prior permission required, can be permitted to export. Department of Customs against my shipping bill, once they satisfied, they issued let export order to my consignment. With that, exporter is competent to export the goods into that vessel for which entry outward already granted by the Department of Customs. Now, with the help of clearing and forwarding agent, I pack the goods in my factory, loaded into the container and carrying that goods from my factory to the place of ICD, Inland Container Depot. It is also be called as CFS, Container Freight Station, which is in nutshell we call export gateway. The goods are kept just before export. Is called this particular place. I kept the goods at that particular place, loading, unloading, transporting from a factory to the place of the Inland Container Depot. My goods are now available where? At the Inland Container Depot. The place just before export is called export gateway. Now I have with me shipping bill and export invoice documents. I submitted this in the office of master of the vessel, who is in charge of the vessel, to seek prior permission from him for loading of my goods into that particular vessel. The master of the vessel verified my shipping bill, for which permission already granted by Department of Customs. Good. You are goodbye. Allowed to load your goods into my vessel. Permission granted by the master of the vessel. I load the goods into the vessel. Now goods are on board. Up to that, who incurred the expenditure? As an exporter, I incur the expenditure. Right from the raw material till the date of point of loading the goods on board. Vessel is a boat. On board loaded the goods. It is called as free on board. From importer point of view, since the importer not incur the expenditure directly for the given consignment, from importer point of view, free on board, since all expenditure incurred by the exporter. Get the clarity, my dear friends? Now the goods are on board, free on board. For as a proof of delivery of my goods to that particular shipper company, the in charge of the ship should issue to me a documents of title called as bill of lading. Hey Mr. Exporter, your goods we taken into on our board as a receipt we are issuing to you. A receipt issued by the master of the vessel to the exporter is called as bill of lading. If the same goods I hand over to the pilot of an aircraft, air cargo, exporting the goods by air, he will issue to me airway bill. If the same goods I hand over to a truck wala, goods are exporting in a truck or in a particular vehicle to outside India, in that case that fellow will issue to me dash, that fellow will issue to me lorry receipt, consignment note. If I hand over the goods to railway authorities for exporting the goods, they will issue to me railway receipt. Since I hand over my goods to in charge of the vessel, the master issued to me bill of lading, which is the documents of title in the hands of the exporter to prove that I am the owner of the goods which is available on board into the vessel, is bill of lading copy. I obtained being an exporter from master of the vessel. Now my dear friends, like this, the master of the vessel, shipper company, might have been issued bill of lading to various exporters. One among them, I am the one of the exporter. In that case, the master of the vessel, to whom he issued bill of lading copies by permitting them to load into that particular vessel exporter's goods, preparing a statement called as departure manifest, which contains the shipping bill of the exporters, bill of lading numbers of the exporters, and the quantity of the goods, value of the goods, exporter country, importer country details. That is called as departure manifest. Such a departure manifest, the master of the vessel should submit here in the office of the customs. Departure manifest to seek prior permission to departure from the Indian port towards designated port. Department of Customs verifies departure manifest. All the shipping bills for which permission already granted by my office? Yes. Fine. Those goods only permitted to load. Fine. Once the Department of Customs satisfied with the departure manifest submitted by master of the vessel, which is generally obviously electronically submitted, and satisfy the Department of Customs, finally Department of Customs will permit that particular in charge of the conveyance, stating that let export order granted to the conveyance. Conveyance includes vessel, aircraft, vehicle, train. In the given case, vessel, entry outward granted to the vessel. Once the permission granted by Department of Customs, then only the in charge of the conveyance, in the given case master of the vessel, is competent to move that particular vessel from the Indian port towards destinated port. Once the vessel crosses 12th nautical mile from the baseline, then we can call it as export taken place. This is what export procedure, just by briefing to you like this, I explained to you in a diagrammatic presentation. Once you understand, assume, presume a scenario, this export procedure has been taken place outside India. Now the goods are coming to India. In that case, import procedure starts. Because as an Indian, I can say that export-import procedure from India, which is globally accepted practice only. That's why now I am presenting, assuming this entire export procedure, what I explained to you, taken place outside India. Now the goods are coming to India. Now goods are coming to India, which is called as import. Now the import procedure starts, my dear friends. Import procedure now starts. Under the import procedure, since the goods are coming in a vessel, that's why I chosen here. Vessel arrives at custom station. Step 1 should arrive custom station. The master of the vessel should submit arrival manifest. What do you mean by arrival manifest? What you known as departure manifest from the exporter country without any modification. As such, it is called as arrival manifest from the importer country point of view. As simple as that. Such a arrival manifest, the master of the vessel should submit in the office of customs electronically before unloading the goods on the docks. Department of Customs in India will verify your arrival manifest, what type of goods you are destinating to Indian port. Is it general goods? Is it restricted goods? Is it prohibited goods? General goods also be called as freely import. Freely means not free of cost. Without any authorization, allowed to import or export is called freely importable goods. Or is it restricted goods, or is it prohibited goods? They came to know wearing apparel only imported. As a result, the master of the vessel submitted this arrival manifest, permitted to unload the goods. Department satisfies, Department of Customs will grant by saying that entry inwards granted to the conveyance, to the vessel. Grant of entry inwards to the vessel. After granting the entry inwards to the vessel, the in charge of the vessel permitted to unload the goods on the docks should land on the landmarks of India. If you mislead with this type of arrival manifest or departure manifest, you are punishable with the penalty up to rupees 50,000. The in charge of the conveyance is punishable with the penalty up to rupees 50,000. Now, unloading of the goods has been taken place. Unloading taken place. Importer should submit or file bill of entry. How the bill of entry generated by the importer? He should refer from the CBIC website where there is a customs portal. Go into that, refer the bill of entry subportal. There from that you have to pick up online, you prepare bill of entry. While preparing the bill of entry, the importer should disclose the value of imported goods as a self-assessment. Refer the rule number 3 of the customs valuation, determination of value of imported goods, rules 2007 as amended up to the Finance Act 2020. Arrive the value of imported goods at a CIF value with Indian rupees as well as foreign currency. Further, also compute duty of customs applicable further by referring the Customs Tariff Act 1975. Schedule 1 talks about list of import duties for the imported goods, BCD, IGST, like that. After computation of the import duty on imported goods, that CIF value and duty of import disclose in the bill of entry and submit the bill of entry by the importer. Such a bill of entry is submitted by the importer, generally 2 colors. White color bill of entry, other one is called as a yellow color bill of entry. White color bill of entry submitted means it indicates the importer willing to pay the duties then and there to clear the goods from the customs by payment of duties. If the importer submits the yellow color bill of entry, it indicates the importer is willing to warehouse the goods and he want to postpone the payment of import duty in the future period. What is the time limit to submit the bill of entry by the importer means? The time limit to submit the bill of entry within 30 days prior to the date of arrival of the conveyance or by the next day excluding holiday from the date of arrival. By the next day excluding holidays from the date of arrival of conveyance, submit the bill of entry. This has been recently got amended in the Finance Act 2021, which is applicable for your May 2022 exam of CA final onwards. They said here a time limit to submit the bill of entry as per the Finance Act 2021. The importer shall have to present the bill of entry under section 46 subsection 1 before the end of the day, including holidays preceding the day on which the aircraft or vessel or vehicle carrying the goods arrives at customs station at which such goods are to be cleared for home consumption or warehousing. The law got slightly amended now, which is applicable for May 2022 exam onwards. Bill of entry should be submitted within 30 days prior to the date of arrival or at least immediately preceding the date of arrival of this particular aircraft, vessel or vehicle, not the after arrival. If you submit after the arrival the bill of entry, what happened? You have to pay the fine for that. To avoid the fine, submit in time. As simple as that. I submitted the bill of entry. I submit the bill of entry. Once I submit the bill of entry, the goods on which CFL arrived by the importer is right or wrong will verify by Department of Customs. Once the duty correctly assessed by the importer satisfy the Department of Customs, they will return the bill of entry to make the payment. When you submit the bill of entry, white color bill of entry, when they return back the bill of entry to you to pay the duty, on the same day you have to pay the import duty, unless you are permitted to have deferment of payment of duty. Now, my dear friends, I can pay the duty, obtain the out of customs charge order shown at the customs frontier at the customs checkpost and clear the goods from Department of Customs, bring into India to consume in India. It is my home country. Goods cleared for home consumption. Once I paid the duty, cleared the goods from Department of Customs, no longer these goods are called imported goods. It is my goods. Indian goods it is, because I paid the duty and cleared the goods. Goods cleared for home consumption no longer called as imported goods. If the goods are warehoused, when I submit the yellow color bill of entry, I defer the payment of import duty in the future period. In that case, no problem, my dear friends. I should submit subsequently green color bill of entry to clear the goods from the warehouse for home consumption. That time, whatever duty prevailed, it is sufficient to pay. It is called ex-bond bill of entry. It is as simple as that. If like that I paid the duty and cleared, the import procedure will get over. Import procedure may be goods meant for home consumption by submission of white color bill of entry, or by submission of yellow color bill of entry. I can warehouse the goods, my imported goods. After some time, I can clear the goods from warehouse for my home consumption. That time sufficient to pay the duty. Is called goods cleared for warehousing, from warehousing for home consumption. Once the goods cleared for home consumption means what? India is my home country. To consume in India is called home consumption. If the goods cleared from the Department of Customs for home consumption, then import procedure completed. It is as simple as that, my dear friends. For your enlightenment of knowledge, I brought to your notice, my dear friends. I am highly thankful for listening this lecture. Thank you to one and all. Thank you, my dear friends. All the best.